Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, something a little bit different today. We're not on Forza. I've just bought F1 2019. So what can we expect from this? What can we expect from this little journey that I'll be taking you on? Well, I'm going to be absolutely terrible at this for starters. It's going to be something a bit different. Maybe not so much sort of tutorials, but more racing, how I'm improving. What the game's like, what you need to be good at it or get better at it. So yeah, I think we're going to have a good time together. F1's always been a massive part of my life. I used to get up at early hours of the morning to watch the practice sessions with my dad, and even though it's gone downhill recently, I guess since the hybrid era came into play, not just because of the Mercedes domination, but the sound of the engines and the constant tweaking in aerodynamics and DRS addition, all that sort of thing doesn't really sit very well with me. I like the raw element that sort of the 80s and 90s F1 brought to the game. So well, anyway, really interesting concept actually. You start off in your sort of F2 series, but I've done that but didn't record it, so we're going to skip that quickly. So I've literally just done the F2 series. I've not driven an F1 car yet on this game, which seems a bit crazy, but it looks like you can choose your sort of team that you start off with. I've got a bit of a soft spot for McLaren and Red Bull, but being at Sauber at the minute, which in F1 I've changed to Alfa Romeo, then I'll probably have to end up going with them. I don't really want to go with one of the big teams, because it gets a bit boring if you're just at the front the whole time. I think I want to treat this like a proper career where you start at the bottom of the ladder and you rise through the ranks to whatever team you can get to. So I think I'll go with Alfa Romeo. I mean, the contract, I guess you can't negotiate if it's your first one. I'm just not going to put it on 110. I've seen a few people put it on there, but I'm just not going to be good enough yet. So I think we'll turn that down and we'll do the other stuff properly. But 100% for me on the sort of difficulty, I think it's going to be absolutely fine. And of course we head to Australia for the first practice. Like I said, not really driven an F1 car before. I don't really know what to expect from the options either. I've had a quick go on some of the previous games,
Racing is the kind of
this really is the sort of first time that I'm going through this process.
The challenges
so
they face, this
sort of look around a little bit
the occasion and makes it out the other side.
Sort of
they need someone who can be consistent,
lovely
resilient,
tutorials.
There's no doubt in my
It's
mind
quite interesting, this whole rookie
those
sort of veteran sportsmanship,
winning rivalries is a great way to earn
showmanship
from
type
the team
thing.
around
Rivalry of
which will
teammate, I'm
help
sure
make
that's
it
going to
easier
be
to
extremely
negotiate
difficult. It's
contracts.
Kimi Räikkönen, and
Your
it probably
first
won't
rival
help
is
you
always
very
your
much because he
teammate.
won't say too
You
much.
can
But
choose who to declare as your second.
it's really cool, this sort of
The harder
interface
the
that they've
rival
got.
from the
I've got
eligible
here.
selection, the more
I really like
respect
what
you
they've
stand to
done
gain or
with it. So
lose depending on
good
the
job
result.
from Codemasters. It's completely different from Forza. All the minis are so clean and they actually sort of make sense. It's easy to work through them. One thing I did want to do is look at the R&D of the car. So here we go. See what we can get. And I mean, obviously for the lower teams in real life anyway, aerodynamics is a massive part of things. They've got an engine from Ferrari in the back of this Alfa Romeo, so as we know, it's quite a strong one this season. So it's going to be overall downforce that they're lacking, and you can see actually they're bottom of the pile for downforce. So we need to get that up and start researching.
If it were me,
probably the front wing really. You can ask for a recommendation. Oh yeah, he's chosen the front wing for us, so can't doubt we'll be able to afford anything else. I don't know if there's anything for sort of 200 credits, I guess they are. Yeah, we'll leave that for when we've got a couple more sort of in the bank. So I'm excited to start driving. I know Australia from the TV, and I've done sort of 5-6 laps around here in a different car, but it's going to be the first time on this game, the first time driving this car, the setup. I usually drive third person, so in this view it's going to be pretty difficult for me, and trying to get used to all of the sort of hybrid technology and sort of fuel modes and that sort of thing. It's going to be a bit of a baptism, so straight away we lock up into the second last corner. Yeah, so it's going to be a bit of a lesson really. I'm playing on the controller, so I'm not on the steering wheel. I'd absolutely love to have a steering wheel. I really think I might sort of invest in one. So yeah, everything I've seen is it's just more fun. It's better. It's faster than doing it on the controller. So keen to make that happen. But for the time being, we're on the controller, and you'll see me hacking away at the wheel. Probably that sort of Forza tap steer. So you go big lock up into a tight right-hander. Really something I know is going to gain a lot of time, like in real life F1. Oh, we're on right there. Is the braking and sort of trail braking into corners. So I've got to get the hang of that. Oh dear, really difficult. It feels really understeer at the minute actually. I don't know if that's just my expectation that it's going to grip loads, but I've no idea where to brake. Oh, it was red. But I'm sure I'll figure this out after a couple of laps. This mode's quite cool though, trying to get you to learn the sort of racing line of the track is quite useful to sort of spot the apex of the corners. We always cut that one a bit too much, and the addition of sort of the DRS zones just helps sort of ingrain things in your mind a little bit. A little lock up there which just sort of sends you a little bit wide. Seems very sort of tetchy, this game on the power and under braking. It's very fine margins, which again another little lock up, which on the controller are quite. We're going to miss this gate. Quite difficult to achieve because obviously you've only got the little sort of trigger to as travel movement rather than a whole pedal for your foot. So we did the sort of track acclimatisation. We're on to the sort of tyre management one here just to get some more points for it to help us with our sort of research and development, see if we can get that rear wing as well as the rear wing. Don't get a whole load of points for these things, and especially if you look like you're not going to pass them like I'm doing for this one. Now it seems that sort of choppy nature of the controller really doesn't lend itself well to tyre wear. As you can see, I'm in the red zone and I'm down on the lap time, which is not a good sign. Maybe I should have sort of left this one a little bit later and done the sort of race strategy prep, which is sort of a five lap one. So and we're in the green now anyway. I'm sure you can change the engine mode to rich and with different deployment to sort of gain some free lap time on these. Really difficult to time this entry, I think, for me. It's the same on Forza, those sort of fast entry corners I struggle with a little bit, which probably isn't going to bode well for F1, but we'll see how we get on. Really tentative through there. It's difficult to get the power down on this game. That corner feels sort of quite fun actually, but breaking into this last sort of section and sort of putting the power down, I don't know whether it's a short shift or it just feels sluggish on turning. I don't know if it's because of the setup or I'm just not used to it, or I'm not using the differential through a power application to make that happen more. But it didn't pass that first lap in tyre management, so that was a bit disappointing. We'll go again and see how I improve, but definitely going to be a sticking point for me, I think, here. So we end up sort of passing the track acclimatisation and tyre wear things quite well in the end, and I thought I'd go on to the sensible to go on to the qualifying runs, and I thought I'd just give you a little bit of a clip here because I'm really struggling with this corner going wide, and it's just a bit of entertainment for you. This really I have to quit and try it again. It's got a good little feature, that flashback feature. I quite enjoy that because it kind of gets you to practice the sort of section you're going through as well. Anyway, we end up doing the sort of race strategy piece as well. You see my lap times were anything but consistent, and again that sort of whole controller sort of choppy wheel turning is actually making our tyre life decrease. It's we're wearing our tyres faster than the game's expecting. Average thing of a 1.3 tyre wear, I think, so that's not ideal really, but I'm sure we'll deal with it, and again will give us a proper race strategy. As you can see, I failed the qualifying piece, so I think I'm going to have to go again really, because when I first tried it, it was just I was just rubbish. I was understeering off the track everywhere, and I think starting to get the hang of it now. That the fast sort of I have to say that, just drive clean off the track. We've got these two cars behind us. I just really can't brake into those guys. Well, let's let them go, shall we? No point having Ricardo behind us. Yeah, I'm really struggling with getting used to it, but you know, a little bit understeering into the first corner. But I'm starting to get the hang of it. It's not ideal, but I'm starting to get the hang of it, which is good for sort of first 20 minutes or so on the game. So I'm starting to get the fact that you need to use the throttle a bit more to. Oh, I had to shift down there. It should be flat that corner, really, I think. Use the throttle, just clip across there to get the car to turn in a little bit more, to use the differential to help you through those corners. I'm starting to get a hang of the braking points as well. Not so much the actual braking, although I'm not looking up as much as I was. But starting to get the track down a little bit more. And, you know, it's the first time around Australia in this sort of car, so again, struggling with that. And okay, here we go. Oh, do we have to restart? Oh no, okay, fine. Again, I like it. Just as I say, I'm starting to get the hang of it. You know, through the fast S's I really struggle. So we go again. We restarted this sort of little section, and let's really try and hook one up now, because you know I've crashed a few times now and had a few moments. Really don't know where to brake for this one. I almost end up backing it into the corner with the rears locking. Maybe I need to change the sort of brake bias a little bit. Had to lift off through here last time, but tiny lift I think, but yeah, pretty flat through there. Team fast first sector, and obviously that was distracting, so I cut the next corner, which was not too helpful, to be honest with you. But I'm still up on the delta, which is good. Brake after that white line sort of ceases. Probably get a bit later than that, but make sure this exit's really straight through here and up through the gears into 7th. Fastest section of the track, the one that I'm really struggling with at the minute. This one's usually okay, or turning a bit too early there. This curve just unsettles thing, and if you go wide on that curve, then you end up just hitting a wall on the right hand side, unless you've got razor fast reactions, which I definitely don't have anymore. So that was neat and tidy through there. Bit of curve on the inside, change down a gear, chuck it in, or a bit too much on the inside, need to stay off that grass. I think the first time ever I've not locked up into the second last corner. Bit of straighter line through the last corner, a bit of understeer, power on, DRS open, and away we go. And I've beaten, I think, unless something drastic happens, the lap time that we needed to get. So that was a bit of a bonus. But guys, realise not quite a usual video for me, but I wanted to share my first sort of experience on F1 on the controller. I'll be doing a couple more F1 videos, maybe my journey to sort of improving on this game. So if you liked this sort of thing, then give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and if you hit that little bell icon, then you'll get a notification every time I post, whether it be on Forza or F1. So until next time, guys, see you later.